Very good evening, everyone. I believe I'm loud and clear to all of you. Please do acknowledge to me in the chat, everyone.
Yes, Sayed, you are audible.
Thank you, Chandana. Good evening, good evening. We would commence with the technical discussion for today in a minute or so. It's the Indian mentality that if you happen to come late, you would be given VIP treatment. So unfortunately, it is still instilled within our characters. So there are few VIPs who are still expected to join. And I don't want anybody to miss, especially the introduction part of any session. Then the remaining 1.5 hours or 1 hour 45 minutes, if you happen to join late by 15 minutes, everything would sound like Greek and Latin. I don't want that to happen to my audience. Meanwhile, I would request those of you who have joined the session on time to please go through the last two classes. It isn't late, Sanket, it is just 4 minutes. I have already told you the rationale behind why I want to wait, and I'm not going to change my decision. Meanwhile, I would request all of you to please go through the last two classes. Just have a quick revision done. Please check if your friends have already joined the session or not. They're going to be missing on the valuable information with respect to their career. So please, a good friend is somebody who would not just encourage your friends to bunk the classes or to engage in other activities. You should also be concerned about their careers. How good it would be if both of you, since your childhood, you have been studying in the same school, same college. Now, fortunately, when you're undertaking up the graduation, you happen to be in the same college. How good it would be if both of you could also start your career in the same company. So please check with your friends, ask them to join immediately. Please go through the last two classes. If in case you have any doubts, please jot it down somewhere in the last page of your notebooks. The last 5 minutes every day, I would dedicate for a doubt clarification. At that point of time, you can highlight your doubts to me. I would try to address all of your queries. For time being, please do a quick revision. I can see slowly the number of participants, the count is increasing. Please make sure you don't waste my time and the other participants' time. We have close to 500 participants here. So don't think that you have joined only 5 minutes late. It is 5 minutes of 500 participants. That's a huge amount of time that you have wasted of others. For the same training sessions, if in case we would have told that you have to pay maybe 5,000 rupees, that would be the cost of this 30 hours of training. In fact, that also would be less, but I'm going with the base price here. Then I'm sure you all of you would have joined at maximum by 6:50. You would have been there in the session. Don't value something with the price tag. You have already witnessed the quality of these training sessions from the last 2 days. And even then, if you have the audacity to join these sessions late, it directly reflects how serious you people are with respect to your careers, not my career. Our careers are very stable. Right. Very good evening, everyone, once again. I've waited for exactly 10 minutes. I can't make the students wait beyond 10 minutes. Those of you who have joined on time, I value their time. So I would request all of you also for our remaining classes, please make sure you're going to join the class on time. Right. With that being said, a quick summary of whatever we have spoken in yesterday's class. Primarily, the discussion was revolving around some of the popular high-level programming languages. Of course, there were many high-level programming languages. In fact, the era of high-level programming languages. Can all of you respond to this question in the chat? In which decade the era of high-level programming languages was started? Can you please respond to this question? Good, Pallavi. I'm asking the decade. Good, Sanket. Okay, 98% of the answers are correct. Some of them are telling 50s, 70s. No, it's not 19th century. Century means a different thing. Okay, good. No, somebody says 20th century. I'm asking the decade. There is a difference between decade and century. Now, I can't teach that also over here. Let me teach only Java programming. Anyways, to be very precise, the decade of high-level programming languages, it was the decade of 1960s. Now, from 1960s till 1970s, a lot of high-level programming languages were introduced. There was something called as Pascal. There was something called as COBOL. But all of them were not that popular. They didn't get the kind of popularity the other programming languages got. That is why I had been very clear about it. I wanted to have absolute transparency in my classes. I didn't say I'm going to discuss the history of all of the high-level languages. I said I'm going to discuss only the popular high-level languages, prominent high-level languages. Now, the very first popular high-level programming language which dominated the entire programming world, it was the C programming language. Good, Rasagna. The C programming language. Did we understand all of the history behind C programming language? Absolutely, yes. It was created by Dennis Ritchie, a very famous computer scientist. In fact, he was also the mastermind behind the Unix operating system, a very powerful operating system. Then it was created at Bell Labs, USA, and the kind of the programming language it is, because I told you, all of your high-level languages, it could be 800, it could be 2000. It has to fall into one of the three buckets. Either it should be an unstructured programming language or a structured programming language, or it has to be an object-oriented programming language. So if tomorrow you have to create a high-level programming language, you should have already made up your mind that my programming language, whatever I am planning to create, should it be unstructured, structured, or object-oriented? That thing should already be decided even before you start creating it. Then you should start creating it by making sure you're also adhering to the principles of that particular style, whatever you have decided. Anyways, C programming language happens to be a structured programming language. It is a procedure-oriented programming language. That means we first understood what was the definition of unstructured programming language. In unstructured programming languages, you will be allowed to have a single block of code, or you'll be allowed to create a single function within your program. Doesn't matter whether you have 100 lines of code, 1000 lines of code, 10,000 lines of code. All of those 10,000 lines of code, you are going to be forced to put it inside a single block, single function. Can I create one more function, sir? It is not possible. This was the case with respect to unstructured style of programming. But whereas your C language happens to be a structured programming language, that means 100% you are going to be permitted to create as many functions as many you want to. There is absolutely no limit to it. Now, this style of programming is what is supposed to be called as structured style of programming or procedure-oriented style of programming. Why is it called as procedure, sir? I told you. When do you... Okay, this is another question for all of my participants. Let it be interactive. It shouldn't be just one-way communication. So all of you, please be ready to send me your answers quickly. When do you prefer to use structured approach? When do you prefer to use the structured style of coding your applications? For what type of tasks are you going to prefer the structured style of coding? No, Ajay, I understand making application. What type of applications? No, I see some of you have not really revised and attending the class. Rajendra, no, not gaming. I'm expecting the technical terms that I have spoken in the class. When are you going to prefer using the structured style of developing the application? Very good. Most of you have answered it correctly, but of course, there are a few answers here which are not what I'm expecting here. I don't know, suddenly, why do I look so dark on the screen? Anyways, the answer to this is whenever the application that you want to develop happens to be a large and complex task. This was the answer that I was expecting. In that case, you have to prefer to use the structured approach of developing the application. That is when, because in structured oriented style, what is that you're going to be doing? As a skilled developer, once you identify the task, you are supposed to break the task into smaller subtasks. Then those smaller subtasks, individually you're supposed to code it using separate functions by implementing them as separate functions. Good. When are you supposed to make use of the unstructured style of developing the applications? Whenever it is a small and a simple task then in that case, you are supposed to go with the unstructured style. Let us say maybe I want you to write a program to add two integers. How many functions are you going to create? I can handle it inside a single function. Within main function itself, I can do this task. I hope you're understanding it. But let us say if it is a Facebook or a WhatsApp application, there are so many functionalities. Definitely, the unstructured style is not at all recommended here. It is the structured style of developing the applications. Wonderful, good. But then I had also told all of you that in every program, there are going to be two components. Every single program, doesn't matter what programming language you have used. It is going to have something called as data. It would also have the code that is going to operate on data. It is going to manipulate the data. That code, obviously, you're going to treat it as functions. But in case of C language, between data and functions, who are going to be treated as first-class citizens? Very good. Functions are going to be treated as first-class citizens. That is why data is not even given any priority there. Least bothered about data. Free flow of data between the functions, it is possible. That is why we don't get to hear any such terms called as data encapsulation, data abstraction, all of that. We will not even find it in any C language textbook. Anyways, all of that is great. Next, moving forward, I had also told you where Dennis Ritchie was working, Bell Labs. He also had a colleague by the name Jarnes Trustru. He finally realized that his colleague, who is Dennis Ritchie, just because he has created a programming language, he has literally become the hero of the programming world. He's ruling the programming world because wonderful invention is what he has done. But Stroop also was aspiring to gain the same fame, name, money, everything, whatever Dennis Ritchie also had. Then he also set out on a task to also develop, to also create his own programming language. But I told you, he was a very smart person. He didn't want to reinvent the wheel, everything from scratch. He didn't want to develop it. He realized, look, boss, in 1970s, if my programming language should be the #1 programming language, the best programming language, I am not going to restrict my programming language to one of the three styles, whatever three styles I told you, unstructured, structured, or object-oriented. If my programming language has to be the best programming language, it has to be a hybrid programming language. I should give the options to the programmers. Hey, programmers, look, if you're going to use my programming language, you can develop both structured applications. You can also develop both object-oriented applications. This flexibility is what Stroop wanted to give through his programming language. That is why what did he do, sir? Nothing. He simply sat down and he asked with his team, at this point of time, currently, which is the best procedure-oriented programming language? C programming language. Okay, consider it. At this point of time, as we speak, in 1970s, which is the best object-oriented programming language? Simula. Consider both of them. Good, Rakesh. And what he did was inherit all the good features from C programming language. Of course, I had also told you there were a few negative criticism about C programming language. Like what, sir? There was the concept of pointers. Like this, there were many other problems with C programming language. Now, of course, Stroop considered only all of the good features of C language. Similarly, all of the good features, the wonderful features of Simula were also inherited. Now, taking these two languages features, he happened to create a new programming language. For the first time, a hybrid programming language. Today, if you ask me, Zabi sir, can you write a structured program using C++? I can write it. Can you also write an object-oriented program using C++? Yes, I can write it. That is why in C++, those of you who have learned it in your academics, every time it is not necessary for you to create a class. Without creating a class also, can you write a C++ program and execute it? Yes, then it is going to be called as a structured style. But let me see, in Java, can you write a program without declaring a class? Not possible. Why? It is not hybrid. It is a pure object-oriented programming language. Of course, there is also some impurity, but that is related to something else. Anyways, but I had also told you the biggest concern was naming the programming language. Anyways, the entire history I've spoken about it. I simply don't want to waste the time once again. He initially named his programming language as C with classes. Later on, very lengthy name. He wanted to give a short name. Then finally, 1985, he happened to rename his programming language to C++. My language is one step better than the previous programming language, which is C language. Am I clear with this, everyone? Perfect. Next word, sir. Now, of course, using C++, I told you, in the industry, most of the times, I agree. Just now I told you, can you also develop structured programs? Yes, you can develop. But in the industry, most of the times, C++ is going to be used to create object-oriented applications. Of course, if you happen to create system softwares using C++, it would again be in structured style. If in case you happen to create any web-based application, very rarely, in that case, you're going to be using the object-oriented flavor of C++. Wonderful, sir. We also understood what is the meaning of object-oriented applications. I told you, how would your application look like? If in case you are going to be using the object-oriented style, you can see it on my screen. As you can see in C++, it is going to look, your application is going to look like collection of objects. You're going to identify objects, and that is how your application is going to be created. Wonderful, sir. Next word, sir. Next word means now finally the hero of our story is going to make an entry now, which is nothing but our programming language, which is Java. Now, we are very excited, sir, to know the history behind Java. I'm sure all of this you have already copied it by watching the recorded session from the LMS. But I want to read in C and C++ on my screen. So only the other information here, I'm going to remove it. So let me remove this information also. You will find it both on YouTube as well as on the LMS. But obviously, if you want a better user experience, then please go with the LMS. Don't know how to log into the portal, how to use the LMS, please stay back after the class. Amar sir is in the meeting. He is going to guide you with respect to LMS if in case you have any queries. Right, perfect. Now observe this, everyone. Right, now see, understand this. When these two individuals, Dennis Ritchie and Stroop, were busy fighting with each other, they were busy with the rivalry in between, that my language is best, no, my language is best. There was a startup company in the Silicon Valley of the world. Can you tell me which is the Silicon Valley of the world? Let me see how many of you are technocrats here. I have a question for all of you. Which place is considered as Silicon Valley of the world? Now, please do not Google it. If you had to Google and tell me the answer, do you think I don't know how to use Google? That is what you're trying to tell me. Whatever you know, I'm telling you, right, wrong, that is up to me to decide. You don't worry about it. Okay, Los Angeles, Washington. Okay, okay. San Francisco. Okay. Why don't we name all of these cities of USA? Okay, okay. Okay. Paris. Now, you please don't tell me which is your favorite destination for vacation with your family. I am asking which is the Silicon Valley of the world. Please do respond to my questions. I see that there are 600 people here. I think I've not even got 60 responses yet, 10% of it. Stop being a mute spectator. It is not another social media platform where you keep scrolling without liking, without commenting, just to see what is happening. Okay. My appreciation to all of such students who are responding to my questions. Some of you are being so honest with me. You're telling, sir, don't know, sir. Good. Okay. Now, the Silicon Valley of the world. Okay, I see that most of your answers are California and Bangalore. When I ask you Silicon Valley of India, in that case, no doubt it is Bangalore. From where I'm also delivering the training for all of you. I'm asking the Silicon Valley of the entire world. The Silicon Valley of the entire world happens to be California, which is a place in USA. Yes, yes. So in that place, all of your big tech giants, it could be the semiconductor manufacturing companies, it could be the chip manufacturing companies like Intel and all of these companies. all of their headquarters, most of them have it in Silicon Valley. Of course, now considering the climatic conditions there and the shortage of semiconductor materials, they're also these days the companies are also trying to establish their headquarters in some other places, maybe in London and other places. Anyways, now all of that being said, let us immediately dwell into the history of the most popular and favorite programming language of all of the developers across the world. Anyways, now see, in a place called California, which is the Silicon Valley of the world, which is in USA, in this place, there was a startup company. I hope all of you understand what is the meaning of a startup company. It has just been started few years before. There are very less number of people. They don't have a lot of funds with them. They are trying to materialize some idea that they have. They think it is going to revolutionize a particular industry. That such a company is what is going to be considered as a startup company. What was the name of that company, sir? In California, and of course, in which decade all of this is happening, sir? I'm talking about the 1990s decade. Very important decade. Why, sir? Because in this decade, this language was also invented, and in the same decade, I was also born. So two very important events on the planet Earth happened. That is the reason. Anyways, I'm just kidding. So concentrate here. Now, in California, in USA, there was this company called as Sun Microsystems. This was the name of the company. Now, this company, like I said, it was a startup company. They had recruited very few young engineers. They had recruited. And now, few of those engineers, first of all, what was the idea behind the Sun Microsystems team, sir? What did they want to create? Now, please understand, this decade of 1990s, especially for our generation, it is extremely important for people who are born after 1990s. Why, if you ask me, before 1990s, there was nothing, literally there was no concept of something called as internet. For the very first time in 1990s, the concept of World Wide Web, nothing but WWW, came into existence. The credits goes to a computer scientist. I'm not able to recall. His name happens to be Tim Berners-Lee. He was the person who introduced, who laid the foundation for what we refer to today as internet. Now, why I told you, why is this decade important? Extremely, because of the internet also came into existence in the same decade. Sir, are you telling before this internet was not there? Obviously, it was not there. I mean, if before this internet was there, why do you think during the freedom struggle, they were sending the letters from one point of the country to another point, and through the railway system also the communication used to happen, through the radio the communication used to happen. If that way internet was there before 1990s, I mean, if Gandhiji had to send a message to somebody in South India, maybe to some of the freedom fighters from South India, he would have simply WhatsApp that person that we are planning a meeting in so-and-so place, please send a representative from your place also. Basically, internet was not there. Internet as a concept came into existence in 1990s. Now, this company wanted to utilize this internet, and they wanted to invent a wonderful thing. What was that, sir? All of the TV sets, all of the electronic devices within the households of California in USA, they wanted to make sure all of that is going to be internet compatible. Of course, today you see everything has become smart. I'm sure all of you would agree with me. We have got smartphones. We have got smart watches. There are smart fans. There are smart TVs. There are smart doors. In fact, our politicians also, in the election rallies also, they are going to be promising for smart cities, smart roads. No, everything is becoming smart. Unfortunately, the only thing that is not becoming smart is we human beings. Other than that, everything is becoming smart. We are still dumb the way we are. Anyways, correct. Sanket says smart boards. Yes, of course. Now, today, whatever you're seeing, this concept of internet devices, smart devices, this concept was conceptualized back in 1990s. It is almost 2 decades of work, 2 decades of efforts. Today, you're seeing these things materialize, and you're able to see it in the hands of a common man. If anything should come to the hands of a common man, it is years and years of efforts, decades of efforts. Just like how today, I mean, not, of course, not today, at least 4 or 5 years before, whenever you heard somebody speaking about artificial intelligence, it used to divide people into two groups: pro artificial intelligence and people who are against artificial intelligence. Are we not using AI today everywhere? 100% yes. 9 out of 10 applications within your mobile phone today, all of them are definitely one or the other place within those applications. They are definitely making use of AI there. Similarly, back in 1990s, the Sun Microsystems team, they wanted to create such a software that can be installed in the electronic devices, using which it can be made internet compatible. Smart TVs, that is what they were trying to visualize. But like I said, just like how you and me 5 years before we were revolting against artificial intelligence, back then in 1990s also, this was a too hi-fi concept for people. They were like, no, 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 this is a waste. This company is simply wasting the money. It is definitely not going to work out. That is what their feedback was. But then this team was set out to create such softwares that can make electronic devices, especially TV sets within the households, smart devices, internet compatible. So what did they do, sir? They immediately recruited engineers, and they have created a team of 11 members. They have created a team of 11 members, and all of these 11 members, they had a TL. I hope you understand what is the meaning of TL. In industry also, whenever you're working, you will be part of some team, and every team will have a name. What was the name that was given to this team, sir? This team was called as Green Team. Why, sir? Randomly, they've just given that name, not because they were looking green. I mean, doesn't make any logical sense. Just like how in your school, you had those 4 houses: red house, blue house, green house, and yellow house. Some of you were part of yellow house. Why? Were you all looking yellow? Good. Anyways, who was the team lead for this 11 members team, sir? There was a very famous computer scientist by the name James Gosling. He was leading this 11 members team. Very famous computer scientist, intellectual, technocrat. He was the one who was leading this green team. Great, sir. Now they wanted to make sure the electronic devices are going to be smart devices. What type of electronic devices, sir? For example, TV sets and many such electronic devices. But unfortunately, to develop this software, initially they decided to use C++ programming language. Of course, tell me, at this point of time, I'm talking about 1990s, who are the two programming languages? Which are the two programming languages who are ruling the programming world now? C and C++. For some reason, they decided to use C++ programming language. Did it work, sir? Unfortunately, no. They were extremely frustrated, and they decided C++ programming language cannot be used for this purpose. Sir, why, sir? What is wrong with C++? Please understand. Now, for this, you have to think a little bit. Without thinking, you'll not understand it. I'm already telling you. When you have to create softwares that are going to be installed on electronic devices, now, do you think everybody in California is going to have electronic devices from the same manufacturer, from the same brand? 100% no. Some of them would be using Samsung devices. Some of them would be using maybe Nokia devices back in 1990s. Now, when the manufacturers are going to be different, obviously the way they would have created that device would be completely different than the other manufacturer. Now, the problem here is if you have to create a software, listen to this carefully, everyone. The need of the R here is you have to create such a software that has to work on every single electronic device, irrespective of which who is the manufacturer of those electronic devices. Basically, independent of the device, platform independent software is what you have to create. Platform is basically that hardware and software, whatever is there in the device. If you ask me, sir, how do we create platform independent softwares? For that, you have to use a platform independent language. But unfortunately, these two programming languages, C and C++, happens to be platform independent platform dependent programming languages. But I wanted platform independent programming language. That is why they had to discard C++ as their choice. What happened next, sir? They were extremely frustrated that we don't have a language at all which is available to create a platform independent software. But nothing to worry. We are a very passionate team. We're a very dedicated team. Why don't we ourselves create a new programming language? This is what they had thought. And did they successfully create a programming language? 100% yes, they were successful in creating a programming language. Can all of you tell me what is going to be the most important feature of that particular programming language? Undoubtedly, very good. The reason for them to create a programming language itself was they wanted to create a platform independent programming language. It is there in the name itself. Irrespective of the underlying platform, my software should work on all the devices. That's the meaning of platform independent. Great, sir. But sir, yesterday you also told us that every high-level language should abide by one of the three styles. Sir, what about this language? Is it unstructured? Is it structured? Or is it object-oriented? James Gosling and his green team decided that their programming language is going to be an object-oriented programming language. That is another feature of this language. It is an object-oriented programming language. Am I clear with this? Wonderful, sir. They have a platform independent language ready. Next, what, sir? I told you, for all of these computer scientists, for these technocrats, creating a language was a lot easier. What was difficult for these people? Giving a name to the language was difficult. Now, finally, the language is ready now. Now they want to give a name to this language. What was the name that was decided, sir? See, for this green team, James Gosling, the way they used to look at Dennis Ritchie and Stroh, they used to look at these two individuals as their role models. So they decided, why don't we follow the footsteps of our seniors here? Of course, in their industry, Stroh happens to be their senior. So going by that name, no, before that, observe this. They decided, now listen to this carefully, everyone. All of your doubts, please jot it down somewhere. At the end of the discussion, last 5 minutes, we're going to dedicate for this. In the office of Sun Microsystems, they had this big tree, very big tree. What type of a tree was it, sir? It was an oak tree. I am sure all of you know what is a oak tree. How does it look like? So they decided, look, whatever language that we have created, almost it has taken 4 long years. From 1991 to 1995, the language was ready. Why don't we give the credits to Mother Nature? Why don't we name our programming language by giving the name of this tree that is there in the office? So they decided that we are going to name our programming language as Oak. That was the initial name that they decided. But for some reason, this name couldn't be given to the language. If you ask me the reason why, there was already a software company that had registered their software products under this name. That means the license was already given to some other company. That is why they couldn't officially give this name to their programming language. Sir, what do you mean to say, sir? For example, see, do we already have a company by the name Facebook? Of course, today it is called as Meta. 100% yes. Now, sir, tomorrow in Borivali in Maharashtra. I also want to establish a company of my own, sir. And I will give the name of my company also as Meta or Facebook. You try doing it. Next day, you will get a notice to appear in the court from the legal team of Mark Zuckerberg. He is going to sue you for millions of dollars of rupees, because once a name has been registered for a particular company, you can't use that name once again. Hence, this name called as Oak could not be given to this programming language. Next, what happened, sir? They decided, okay, unfortunately, whatever name that we decided, we are not able to give to our programming language. Now let us follow the footsteps of our seniors, who is nothing but Stroop. Tell me, how did Stroop give the name to his language? Take the previous language name C, tell I am better than C. That is why C++. Similarly, they also wanted to tell me, what was the name of the previous programming language, Aniket? Good, it was C++. Now they wanted to tell our language has many more good features, whatever were there in C++. So they would say C++++ like this. At the same time, they wanted to tell, sir, what good features were added in this language, sir, which were not there in C++. There were many enhancements with respect to a concept called as exception handling that was done in this language, which was not there in C++. A collections framework was introduced. JDBC concept was introduced. All of this is there in this language. It was not there in C++. That is why plus. So along with the previous language, many good features are added. At the same time, all of the bad features of previous language, C++, all of those bad features, we are going to eliminate it. We are going to remove it. That is why minus. This was the name that they decided. I mean, luckily, that is not the name that was decided for this language. Just imagine, many of you are attending these sessions, I'm assuming from your home. And if in case your parents ask you, hey, we see that after your college hours, you're engaged in some extra training sessions. Can you tell us what language are you learning? What technology are you learning? You will tell, Papa, nothing. There is this technical organization called as ExcelR. They are conducting training on this language, programming language. So he will ask you, what is the name of the language? You will tell it is C+++++. Your father is only going to give you a single reply. He would say, may God bless you, my son, my daughter, and he will immediately walk away. That is why, I mean, of course, this is not a convincing name. I mean, just imagine C+++++, how difficult it is to pronounce. Anyways, so this name also, not everybody in the green team agreed to it. Next, what happened, sir? There were a few other suggestions. Somebody decided, shall we give the name of the team? Tell me, what was the name of the team which created this language? Green team. So why don't we give the name as green? Not convincing. Green language. I mean, quite funny it seems. Then somebody decided, can we name our programming language as Silk? Why, sir? I mean, I don't really know if anybody was fond of silk sarees there, but somebody suggested, but luckily this was also not decided. Then finally, after a lot of thinking, after a lot of analysis, somebody decided, understand this, everyone. When did the work start? If you ask me, it started in 1991. And when was it completed, sir? This programming language was completed over a period of 4 years. 1995, the language was ready. Now, just imagine a team of 11 members trying to create the most powerful programming language, a wonderful programming language. Do you think it is going to be a cakewalk for them? 100% no. I mean, just imagine, we, in 4 years of our graduation, we don't master a programming language that was already created by somebody. Learning a programming language itself is so difficult for us. Just imagine if these people have to sit down and create a new programming language, design the entire compiler on their own, decide what virtual machine are they going to be using it. Extremely difficult task it is. Now, during those 4 years, whenever these people used to feel a lot exhausted, tired, very low in energy, they used to immediately come out of their office and they used to cross the road. Exactly opposite to their office, there used to be this coffee shop. They used to go to this coffee shop, take a small break with the team, and they used to drink the coffee there. Immediately, they used to feel rejuvenated. The energy is back. And they immediately used to come back to their office, sit in their cubicles, continuously work on the programming language. This is how their entire routine was over a period of 4 years. So somebody suggested, no, see, for us to continuously stick on to our work and develop this programming language, definitely that coffee has played a very important role. So why don't we give something interesting, a very a name that is going to instill a lot of curiosity among people? So why don't we give a name that is somehow related to coffee? Now, I don't know how many of you know this fact. Literally, I mean, I'm not making this story. Those of you who want to verify all of these facts after the class, you can Google it and you'll see. In fact, on YouTube also, there are documentaries where James Gosling himself has been interviewed and he's sharing all of these historical details. Now, I don't know how many of you know this. In a place called as Indonesia, I'm sure all of you know there is a place called as Indonesia. In Indonesia, there is an island. See, observe this. In Indonesia, there is an island which is very famously known for coffee plantation. Which is known for coffee plantation. Now, what is the name of that island, sir? I'm not making this, literally I'm not making this. You're going to be shocked to know this. The name of that island in Indonesia itself, my friends, happens to be Java. That was the name of the island. So they finally decided, yes, it is a wonderful name. It is also going to have a lot of suspense element. It is going to instill curiosity amongst the programmers the moment they are going to hear this word. And they decided, we are going to name our programming language as Java. That was the name that was given to this. Am I clear with this, everyone? So it is not that randomly they decided this name. There is a reason behind it. And this was the name that was given to this programming language. So officially, the language took its birth in the year 1995, and the name that was given to this programming language was Java. And I don't want my students to forget the most important feature of this programming language is it is a platform independent programming language. Tell me, before 1990s, did you have even a single programming language which is a platform independent programming language? Absolutely not. All of those programming languages were platform dependent programming languages. Sir, why, sir? Were all of those individuals who created those programming languages intentionally did they wanted to make it a platform dependent? That was not the case. My friends, please understand. The concept of platform independence comes into picture only and only if you try to connect those devices, if you try to run those softwares with the help of internet. Now, please do not try to conclude that it was the mistake committed by Dennis Ritchie. It was the mistake committed by Stroop that they did not make their programming languages platform independent. I am telling you, literally, this thought has not even struck their head that, hey, we have to create a platform independent programming language. Why the hell do they have to do it? Because all of these softwares that were created, all the programs that were created before 1990s, those softwares are not going to be run with the help of internet. It is going to be run locally on your computer. So do you already know what is the platform of your computer? Yes, accordingly, the software is going to be developed. But now imagine we live in the internet era today. Now, if WhatsApp is going to be created by the WhatsApp developer, of course, today it is going to be owned by Mark Zuckerberg company Meta. Now, just imagine now that WhatsApp is available on the internet. I am a Android user. The operating system in my mobile phone happens to be Android. Let us say there is a iPhone user. These devices use an operating system called as iOS. Let us say there are also Windows phone users. The platform, the operating system in those mobile phones happens to be Windows operating system. Same WhatsApp it is. Can an Android user use it? Can an iOS user use it? Can a Windows user also use it? 100% yes. That is why, please think and answer. Use your common sense and answer to this question. Is WhatsApp a platform dependent application or is it a platform independent application? 100% undoubtedly, WhatsApp is a platform independent application. That means irrespective of the underlying platform, doesn't matter what operating system you're using. Can you run WhatsApp on your mobile phones? Yes. But you think an answer. Could anybody visualize WhatsApp application before internet? No. What type of programs will you create before internet? Programs that are going to be run locally on your computer. There is no necessity for those programs to be connected to internet. That is why I'm telling it. These wonderful computer scientists, these brilliant computer scientists, it was not even, it didn't even come as a thought to those individuals that we have to create a language called as platform independent. Never ever. The need arose only after the existence of internet. Now that internet has come into the picture, now the demand for platform dependent softwares has come into the market. Luckily, the timing was right for the Sun Microsystems team, for the James Gosling's team. Immediately, they happened to launch this programming language called as Java, which is a platform independent programming language to the entire programming world. Officially, the language was released. Can anybody tell me here what led to this team to create this programming language? Why did they create this language? Hey, I know they wanted to create a platform independent. Okay, now the follow-up question would be, why did they wanted to create a platform independent programming language? Do not forget the origin. The origin of this invention here goes back to making your electronic devices smart devices. That was the intention behind, right? That was the motive behind James Gosling creating this. The motive was different, but once the platform independent language was released to the world, the kind of overwhelming response James Gosling and the entire green team received with respect to Java, they couldn't believe their eyes. The entire world, with open hands, embraced this programming language. Everybody, it was lit. That is why I told you the timing was absolutely right. Everybody, every single tech giant, it could be Google, it could be Oracle, it could be IBM, all of these tech giants in 1990s, they were waiting for a platform independent programming language. Why, sir? Because only if I have a platform independent programming language, I will be able to create platform independent application. That is the need of the hour. Now internet has come. If I run a business, as of now it is being run physically. Maybe I own a paint company. As of now, my office, my premises are only physically present. Internet has come. I want to take my enterprise. Enterprise is a hi-fi word for business. I want to I also want to have virtual presence. I want to have a virtual presence. That means 100% I have to create a website for my paint company. I want to launch it on the internet. I want to create an application. Don't you think I need a platform independent programming language? 100% yes, I definitely need it. When the world wanted it, was the language ready? Yes, it was definitely ready. It was none other than Java. The moment James Gosling realized there is a huge need, there is a huge demand for our programming language, he did not sit quiet. He did not enjoy the fame. Immediately he tried, he started thinking, how can I make sure the language reaches every single person who is in need? That is why what he very smartly did was, he came to the world and he announced, he made few important announcements telling, look, my language is platform independent. My language is object oriented. At the same time, my language also is going to have few other features. He said, look, anybody across the world, whoever wants to use my programming language, you can use it for absolutely free of cost. You don't have to pay any subscription fee. There is no license fee that is going to be demanded from you. It is going to be freely available. Sir, what do you mean by freely available? Were the previous programming languages before Java, were they not freely available? 100% no. If you own a software company, if you have to use C++ to create a software application, you have to pay the license fee for Bell Labs, Stroop. Only then you are going to be authorized to use that programming language. Sir, but in my college, sir, in my laptop also, I have C downloaded, sir, but I have never paid any license fee. It is because you would have downloaded some leaked version, some third-party version onto your computer. If you run a software company, you can't develop your application using such leaked versions of those programming languages. You have to use authenticated, the validated version of the programming language. For that, definitely license fee was included. But James Gosling said, we don't need any license fee, freely available, please use it. Of course, IT industry also wants this feature. Like I said, it did not stop there. This is where the intellectual property of the people who run a company comes into the picture. He also made an announcement that my programming language is going to be an open source programming language. Open source programming language. What does it mean, sir? Just observe this. If in case, see, what is the meaning of this, sir? What is the meaning of this is, I hope I have sufficient space here. Just a second. Anyways, let's do one thing. See, open source software is such a software. Observe this. Java was made as an open source software. That means, observe this. What does it mean, sir? What it means is, the company that owns Java, which company owns Java? Sun Microsystems. Not only those engineers, James Gosling and his green team can work on Java. The moment this software has been made open source, not only green team. Let us say you are a developer who is working for Google and you have a wonderful idea that you feel you want to contribute to the features of Java. Can you do it? Of course, yes. Since the software is open source, you can do it. Let us say you are a freelance software developer somewhere in Europe. You also have a wonderful idea. You feel like contributing it. Can I do it, sir? Absolutely, yes. This is the meaning of open source softwares. Of course, today also there is a platform very famously used by the IT industry. It is called as GitHub. On GitHub, there are so many open source projects. As somebody who wants to get into the IT industry, in your profile, in your resumes, this bullet point should compulsorily be added. And once you add it, the kind of impression that it is going to leave on the recruiters, you cannot imagine the kind of impression that you're going to leave. If you say that you have contributed to open source projects on GitHub, definitely there are 80% chances that you are going to be recruited. So you have to learn as to how to contribute to open source projects, how to work on open source projects. I am sure there are many students of mine here who don't even have a profile on GitHub. That is what I was trying to tell you yesterday. If you simply think a college degree is going to give you a job, I don't know what to tell to such people. You're a frog in a pond. Of course, the degree is going to be needed. Definitely the degree is needed, but it is the necessary criteria. It is not a sufficient criteria. There is a difference between necessity and sufficiency here. What is the sufficient criteria, sir? You should have all of these hardcore technical skills which the industry is demanding. Unfortunately, because of the college curriculum, your faculty's hands are also tied. They cannot teach you anything beyond their syllabus, anything beyond their curriculum. Because in a span of 6 months, not even 6 months, take out all of the leaves and holidays, they hardly have around 4 months. They have to complete that syllabus. Hence, it is not possible for them to teach anything extra. But it is up to you. Do you know how to use internet? Yes, fingertips. In your fingertips today, you have internet. It's not like you have to go to libraries, sit in libraries for hours together, read some fat textbooks on computer science. Only then you will become a better programmer. No. Did anybody teach you to create a profile on Facebook? No, you yourself created it. So why the hell do I have to teach you how to create a profile on GitHub? Why do I have to teach you that you should create your LinkedIn profile? Why should I teach you how to create a profile on HackerRank, how to participate on coding competitions on CodeChef or LeetCode? You have to figure it out on your own. It is your career. It is not going to help me. If you start your career with 3 lakhs package compared to starting your career with 8 lakhs per annum, is it going to make any difference to my life? No. Whose life, whose family is going to have a positive impact, provided you start your career in the right company, in a right domain. It is you and your family who is going to reap the benefits. There are many engineers, there are many students who I have trained. Unfortunately, it was quite late for them because they didn't realize how important all of this graduation. But once the graduation is completed, you have no idea what to do with your life. Sometimes because of the societal pressure, sometimes because of the family pressure, sometimes because of the financial crunch within your family, you're going to be come with me. I'll take you to these call centers. I will show you hundreds and hundreds of engineers who are working in call centers today. They're receiving calls to help people fix an issue with the washing machine in their home. They're doing night shifts, taking up a BPO, KPO jobs, tech support jobs. Why? Because those were the same fools during their 4 years or 3 years of their graduation. They were living the life of the most lethargic person. Same individuals, 4 years, just one day before exam, read some 5 questions, write some 3 answers there in the exams and get some minimum passing marks, and that is how the degrees were received. But now, throughout their life, they're paying a hefty price for this. But compared to somebody, I'm not telling you have to be a nerd. You don't have to be a nerd. A smart person is somebody, if you want to bunk classes, you bunk. You should also know at the same time, you have to enjoy your student period. At the same time, you should also know what is important for your career. Tomorrow, if your family is hungry and if your family is starving, your friend who bunked the classes with you, he cannot come and feed your family 3 times a day. It is on your shoulders. And now is the time to start preparing for it. Not after graduation. Sir, I will prepare after graduation. A fool. Every month after your graduation, if you waste a single month sitting idly at your home, minimum 20,000 rupees of loss. Because even today, if you join any startup company, at least minimum 20,000 rupees would be your salary. So if you waste 6 months of time sitting idle in your home, you have literally wasted 1,20,000 rupees, that amount of money that you would have made. Of course, I'm talking about the money you can make, but during those 6 months, the amount of money that you have wasted. Yeah, I told you in yesterday's class also, in the YouTube chat also, unnecessary discussions are happening. You have no idea how important these sessions are. You should enjoy. I'm not telling you should not have fun. I'm not asking you to become like a person who has left everything and who's just behind their career. At the same time, you should not forget what is important for your career. That is why there is a difference between a person who is graduating from a tier 3 college and a person who's graduating from IITs. Because from the first year itself, That entrepreneur mindset is being instilled into these students there. There is no mandate on the attendance in IITs. Of course, there are a few engineering colleges who have also of late started this. You can go work in the industry in the name of internships. But what is important is you should not forget your end goal. What would happen to me after my graduation is completed? Am I going to start a job for 12,000 rupees in a call center? Or do I have to start a career in the IT industry as a software developer with a starting salary of 40,000 rupees at least? Starting salary. Of course, in 2 years, that 40,000 rupees, you would have got so many increments. By the time you are going to complete 2 years, already it would have gone close to a lakh. Extremely important for your families. I mean, let Allah forbid, if in case in the future, if any of your family members are going to fall sick, if they're going to fall ill, the kind of hospitals that you can afford to, the kind of medical treatment that you want to afford to your family members, it also depends on your job. It depends on your salary. So please do not take it lightly. The kind of comfort that you want to give to your parents directly depends on your career. Now, if you are not going to bother about it, if you're not going to worry about it, if you think I will take up some course after graduation, now I don't want to worry about my upskilling, you're again doing the same mistake what your seniors and super seniors have done it. And I don't really understand this stigma, this illusion of especially non-computer science students, non-IT students. I want to get into my core domains only. Did you even a single day open internet? Did you check how many vacancies are there in your core domain as a fresher? You can't do it because you don't have the guts to do it. You don't have the courage to do it. I'm telling you directly because somebody should tell you all of this, right? Your faculties, their hands are tied. Your parents, they think you are learning all of these things. You already have that information. Then who is going to guide you? I might be sounding a little harsh, but I want to be brutally honest because one or the other person should tell you what to do with your career. Good if you can get into your core domains, but please have the thorough research done. What companies am I supposed to apply? How many vacancies for freshers in those companies would be there? Will I be able to get in as a fresher or are they demanding experience from me? Accordingly, plan your career. Then somebody who's from mechanical background, after graduation, 6 long months, that person would be wasting. Hey, I want to get into mechanical domain itself. Good, I'm not telling it is wrong, but you should also have proper planning done. 6 months, that person is going to waste. And finally, after 6 months, where is that person working today? He's working in Accenture, he's working in Infosys, he's working in TCS. I mean, if you wanted to get into Accenture or any of the IT companies only, my question is, what were you busy doing those 6 months, man? Couldn't you get in immediately after your graduation? Because according to me, an ideal student is somebody who immediately after graduation, your next step should be inside a company. But I see that is happening very rarely to engineers in this country today. After graduation, you have 6 months of period where you do unnecessary things. Then finally you get into some company. Think about it. Now is the time to think. I'm telling you, a smart person is not somebody who only enjoys with life. I mean, I'm not trying to motivate anybody with the personal examples here. Trust me, I completed my graduation in the one of the top colleges in Bangalore. I got a government seat there. But my attendance through in the last 2 years was around 50 to 60%. Again, I'm not trying to influence you that you should also start bunking your classes. I was smart. I realized what was important for me. And at the same time, no, just by thinking that I had less than 60% attendance, don't think I also had a lot of backlogs. That is what I'm telling. This is the definition of a smart student. Never in the entire graduation period of mine, throughout 4 years, I had a single backlog. I knew how to get minimum passing marks. I immediately cleared it. Aman, if you're expecting everything to be technical discussion, I'm sorry. I think this is also important for students. So you have to have a little bit of patience. I know how much time is remaining. Anyways, so like I said, I mean, thank you, Sanjay. Thank you, Durga. I know this is important for all of you. So please think about it. Start working on these lines. Know what has to be done right throughout your graduation. Please be prepared before you graduate. Do not start your preparation for your career after your graduation. That is not an ideal student. If you come from such college where there are not a lot of companies visiting, there is less placement that is happening, nothing can be done. I mean, your colleges are trying their best. They're trying hard to bring. If you're not getting it, nothing to worry. You have to start figuring out ways. There are so many applications on the internet where you can start applying for companies. That is why I told you, you have to be extremely active on LinkedIn. Because on LinkedIn also, there is a section called as LinkedIn Jobs. You can apply there. The recruiter there can directly go to your profile and they can see, hey, I see that there is a student called as Roshil Dubey. What and all certifications this student has done, in which year has he graduated, what college is he graduated from, what was his specialization, everything I'll get to know through your LinkedIn profile. Extremely important to maintain it. But I'm sure there are 630 participants only on Zoom. At least I'm expecting, I don't know, I'm not really watching the YouTube live session, at least maybe 200 there. Out of 800, I'm sure there are maybe less than 200 of you who have a LinkedIn profile today. The remaining 600 students are still leaving, I don't know in which lala land. You don't even have a LinkedIn profile created. At least create a profile there. Whichever extracurricular activities you attended a seminar, you got a free certificate. See, all of you are also going to get a certificate after this ExcelR EDL training program also. I want to see that certificate uploaded on all of your LinkedIn profiles. Hey, LinkedIn connections, I'm extremely delighted to share this accomplishment. I have recently attended this 15 days of hardcore technical training by ExcelR, and I am excited to share this certification with all of you. Post it. You have to do it. See, somebody who wants to do something extraordinary in life, you don't need to watch Sandeep Maheshwari's motivational videos on YouTube every day. You have to be a self-motivator. You know what is important for you, what is important for your family. Don't get so lost and so engrossed in the enjoyment of your student period that you forget about yourself, you forget about your career, you forget about your family. That is not right thing to do. That is why there is only one Elon Musk, there is only one Sundar Pichai. I'm sure all of you know Sundar Pichai. He's from Chennai. Specialization in chemical engineering. His specialization was in metallurgy, one of the branches of chemical engineering. Today, the #1 tech giant of the world, Google, he's not even the CEO of Google today. Google has a parent company called as Alphabet. He is leading that company. That is why only one Sundar Pichai. You go and ask him. Don't ask him what residing. Ask him what were the sacrifices, the hard work that he underwent when he was a student throughout his student period. That is why not everybody who graduated from the same college are working at Google today. He is leading Google today. Only one Sundar Pichai, only one Ratan Tata, only one Steve Jobs, only one Elon Musk, only one Jack Ma. If you want an extraordinary life, you should take extraordinary steps in your student period when you're learning something. Anyways, I hope I have been able to shed some light. Anyways, let us go back to the history of Java. I'm sure all of you have understood what is the meaning of open source software mean. Right. Great, sir. Next, what happened, sir? So if anybody would ask you what are the features of Java, which was owned by Sun Microsystems, immediately you should list all of these pointers here. Platform independent, object oriented, freely available, and it was also open source. Great, sir. Next, what happened, sir? Next, what happened means it was a startup company. In the year 2010, all of you please observe, of course, not 2010, before 2010 also, there was this very famous company that you and me aspire to get into that company. What was the name of that company, sir? It was IBM. IBM had approached Sun Microsystem to acquire the entire company. I'm sure all of you know what is the meaning of acquisition. Today also in the news, you will be hearing Byju's has acquired Akash. Basically, you acquire another company and that company would also be under your management. So IBM approached Sun Microsystems to purchase the entire company, to acquire that entire company. But luckily, the deal did not strike between the founders of IBM and Sun Microsystems. Later on, in the year 2010, there was this company called as Oracle. The founder of Oracle and the founder of Sun Microsystem, they had a very good relationship. They were friends. So Oracle gave a very good offer to Sun Microsystems, and officially in the year 2010, the entire Sun Microsystems and its products were acquired by this company called as Oracle Corporation. So as we speak today in 2023, if anybody would ask you, which company owns Java? Your answer should not be Sun Microsystems. Sun Microsystems was the company to create Java. But today, as we speak, the company that owns Java happens to be Oracle Corporation. Am I clear with this, everyone? But then, the moment Oracle Corporation acquired Java, they slightly tweaked the programming language. They did a few changes to this programming language. What changes were done, sir? First and foremost, sir, under Oracle, is Java platform independent 100%? Yes. Under Oracle also, Java is platform independent. Sir, under Oracle, is Java object oriented? Absolutely yes. Under Oracle, is Java freely available? Yes, it is freely available. Now here there is a slight changes. Few of the versions are not freely available, but most of them were freely available, at least initially. And the major change that was done to Java, the moment Oracle acquired Java, was Java that was previously open sourced. Immediately, Oracle made it a closed source software product. That means today, if you want to contribute some feature to Java, you will not be able to do it unless and until you're working for Oracle, unless and until you're working in the Java team that is under the Oracle company. That means, I hope you're understanding the meaning of closed source. That means, as an outsider, now can you contribute to Java? 100% it is not possible. Who can contribute to Java is only the engineers who are working for Oracle Corporation. Is that clear, everyone? Did all of you understand whatever I've spoken so far? I need a quick acknowledgement in the chat as well as in the live chat on YouTube as well. Thank you so much, Gurudevi, for the compliment. It's important. And see, at the end of the session, please make sure all of you, once the attendance and the feedback link is shared, all of you, please do not forget to give your attendance. Extremely important it is. And in the same attendance form, there is also a field asking for your feedback. So please make sure, I know how usually feedback means. Randomly, we select something. Your feedback means a lot for us. So please make sure a honest feedback is given. Yes, Ganga Prasad. Immediately, they made it as a closed source software product. Good. Right. Okay, a quick question to all of you. Whenever we speak about softwares, there are two types of softwares. Can Anybody tell me what are those two types of softwares? I'm expecting a reply from all of you. Sure. I'll share my LinkedIn profile link later, not now. There are two types of software. So what are those? Somebody who is smart, you realize the answer is already on the screen. Good, Amar. So Meghana, Supriya, Mehboob. Good, good. It's already there on my screen. Perfect, perfect. Now, great, great. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you. You can stop sending me the responses. Understand this, everyone. I had told you when I was speaking about C language, to create system softwares, any day we are going to use C and C++. The reason being, see, system softwares means what is important here, if you ask me, good Rasagna, it is the speed. The speed of execution is going to be important here. I will say execution speed. That is important here for system softwares. But if you ask me for application softwares, listen to this, everyone, carefully. I said you can stop sending me the responses. For application softwares, I gave you the examples also. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Zoom, WhatsApp, all of these are application softwares. For application softwares, what is important if you ask me? Speed is not that much of importance for me. What is important is platform independency feature of these applications are important. I gave you the example. Are we able to run WhatsApp on all of the platforms? 100% yes. So see, now the demand of these applications is going to be different. For of these softwares is going to be different. For application softwares, what is important? I want to ensure platform independency. That is important here. Am I clear with this? Now see, for system softwares, think and answer. Okay, let me see how many of you can think and answer this to me. Do you think system softwares have to be platform independent? I've also given the examples there. Your operating system, should it be platform independent? Why the hell will the operating system be platform independent? Is your operating system connected to internet? Are you going to use it remotely? No. Whenever I want to use the operating system in my computer, I have to use it locally. So for system softwares, I am not going to care about platform independency. But what is important for me is speed of execution is important for me. But for application softwares, what is important for me is platform independent feature of the application is going to be important for me. I don't mind the moment I click on WhatsApp icon, if it is going to take 2 seconds for the application to launch, it's okay for me. But what is important for me is it should be platform independent. So whenever you want to develop platform independent applications, what language are you supposed to use? Can you use C or C++? No. Here you have to use a platform independent language. It could be Java, it could be Python. Any of the platform independent programming languages. Perfect. Now the discussion is complete with respect to popular high-level programming languages. Like I said, I am not going to discuss all of the high-level languages. There are 3 popular high-level languages that is ruling the programming world even today. C, C++, and Java. Of course, apart from this, there is Python, there is JavaScript, there is C#. But I think for this program, understanding the historical background about these 3 programming languages would be quite sufficient for us. Am I clear with this, everyone? Just a small fun fact to all of you. I told you naming the programming languages was extremely challenging. Other than Java, there is another famous programming language today, which is Python. I'm sure the first time when all of you heard the name Python, the first thing, the first image that came to your head was a reptile creature. Basically, it was a snake. And trust me, that is what the language creators also wanted. They wanted you to think the language has got something with the reptiles, with the snakes. But trust me, that is not the case. There is a very interesting story behind giving the name to the language as Python. I don't know how many of you know this. See, as we speak today, in India, can you tell me which is the famous, very popular comedy show in India as we speak today? As expected. As we speak today, which is the famous comedy show? Okay, I'm getting different responses here, but most of you are telling it is the Kapil Sharma show. Good, good. Of course, there could also be others. I'm not telling I'm a fan of Kapil Sharma show, but that is the popular one. Now, similarly, listen to this, everyone. Now, somebody is telling Tom and Jerry. Okay, is that a comedy show for you? Indian Kalyani. Steve Harvey. Okay, good, Rushil. Priyanka, if you have a question later. Okay, some of you are telling Tarak Mehta. Okay. Anyways, let us come back here. Listen to me, everyone. Similarly, in late 1980s, the inventor of Python, his name is Guido von Rossum. Guido von Rossum. He was a crazy fan, very fond of a comedy show, English comedy show. The name of the comedy show was Monty Python's Flying Circus. I'm sending the name to all of you over chat. Monty Python's Flying Circus. It was the name of the comedy show. He was a crazy fan of this comedy show. When he wanted to name his programming language, in the title of this comedy show, somehow the word Python caught his attention. That's all. He decided the name of his language is going to be Python. There is no relevance. There is nothing connected with snakes. Don't think when Guido von Rossum was trying to create Python programming language, he had the snakes all over his body. That is how he was creating language. No, 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 no. Anyways, it was just another interesting fact to share with all of you. Anyways, right. So the entire history about C, C++, and Java, it is on the screen. Of course, what is more interesting here is the history behind Java. And you should also take pride. I told you Sun Microsystems, right? One of the founders of Sun Microsystems was also an Indian American person. I think his name was Vinod. He was also one of the core founders of Sun Microsystems. So you can say, in a way, we also contributed in terms of the development of Java, but very few Indians knew about this fact. Right. So all of you, please take exactly 2 minutes. I have also been speaking for almost 1.5 hours now. Take 2 minutes of break. I am going to keep the screen visible to all of you. So if in case anywhere you have any doubts, again, I don't expect you to ask me questions now. Please note it down immediately somewhere in the last page of your notes, roughly. At the end, when the last 5 to 10 minutes are going to be given for a doubt clarification, that time you can clarify it with me. So exactly 2 minutes. It's going to be 8:31 now. So 2 minutes from there till 8:33. Let us take a small break. And this break is not to roam around your house. It is to revise whatever you see on the screen. Thank you, everyone. And I think the best use of this time would be Chandana ma'am has already shared the attendance and the feedback link for day 3 in the chat. So please give your attendance and feedback immediately. And I told you, when giving the feedback, randomly do not select everything. It means a lot for us. So please make sure mindfully honest feedback has to be given. Right. Can we continue the discussion now? Are all of you back? Did all of you complete the attendance and the feedback form? Perfect. Great. Please make sure you have at least 60% attendance. I hope that's the minimal criteria. Am I right, Amar sir? For the certification, you need to have at least 60% of attendance. Only then you will be issued a certificate.
Yes, Sayed. The 60% attendance is mandatory.
Okay. Thank you so much, Chandra ma'am, for the information. Great. I was once again in the break going through the YouTube live chat. It is still open in front of me. I again, instead of uh, constant reminders, I again see some other conversation that is happening there. I am once again requesting, I use the words very carefully. It's my humble request. If you feel that I have added a bit of increment to your knowledge levels, if you have that minimal respect for me and for the entire team behind ExcelR who is doing this part of upskilling the undergraduates for absolutely free of cost, please do not engage in any other irrelevant conversations, because it might be a hurdle to many others who want to seriously watch the YouTube live stream that is going on. So it's a humble request. Please do not engage yourself in such conversations. Right. I don't want to take any names here, but I have been observing from last 3 classes constantly. There are a few who are doing it. So please do not do that. Right. Let's quickly get started. Can I erase everything that's on the screen? Okay, perfect. Let us, I told you, you can watch once again the recorded version of this session, and there from there you can copy everything that was there on the screen. So, and you should be quite grateful to the entire ExcelR team. For lifetime, you're going to be given free LMS access. So please utilize it. Right, let's continue now. See, I told you when Java was under Sun Microsystems, was it closed source or was it open source? When Java was under Sun Microsystems, was it closed source or was it an open source? 100% it was an open source software product. The moment Oracle acquired it, it became a closed source software. Now, since, okay, thank you everyone for responding. Good. Now, please listen to me. You can stop sending me your answers. Since Java was an open source software product, many new features were getting added, because understand this, if you think it was only those 11 members team who are working on Java, you're absolutely mistaken. Since it was an open source software product, Java, every now and then there were so many new features that were being added to Java. The Sun Microsystems team, every 6 months, at least every 1 year, they were forced to release a new version with the updated features, with the enhanced features. That is why it is another important question in your interviews. What are the different versions of Java and which is the latest version of Java? All of this information is going to be important for you. So the next topic that I'm going to be discussing, which is related to our previous discussion, is the versions of Java, Java versions. Now understand this carefully here, everyone. Now, which was the very first version, sir? The very first version of Java, technically, you can't officially call it as the first version of Java. We say it is the beta version. I can't write the beta symbol here, so I'm simply writing B. You know how the alpha, beta, Greek alphabets are written. The beta version. Sir, what is the meaning of this beta version, sir? Listen to this, everyone. Once again, since you people don't come from the industry background, you might not be aware of this term. See, for every product, for every software application, before you release it to the public, there is something called as the beta version of the software product, which you're going to release it to a specific set of people, to a dedicated set of individuals for two purposes, to see if there are any bugs and also to receive the feedback from those individuals. Such version of the software product is referred to as beta version. It is not at public. It is released only to specific set of people. Great, sir. When was this version released, sir? It was released in the year 1995. Next, what happened, sir? After this, the next version, the first version of Java officially, the Java 1.0 was released immediately in the next year itself, 1996. The next version of Java, I told you, every now and then, since all of these freelance developers, the developers working for other companies, since they were also working towards Java, so many features were getting added to it. They were forced to release new versions. That is what was happening here. So see, the next version of Java, which they called it as, of course, they didn't call it as Java 2.0. The numbering system that they used was 1.1. This was released in the next year, 1997. Great, sir. Next what, sir? The next version of Java was released. It was called Java 1.2 and it was released in 1998. The next version of Java, it is called as Java 1.3 and it was released in the year 2000. The next version of Java, it is called as Java 1.4 and it was released in the year 2002. The next version of Java, from this version, they stopped referring to these versions. The versioning system was changed. They did not refer to it as Java 1.5. They simply referred to it as 5. The fifth version of Java was released in the year 2004. The next version of Java, which is Java 6, it was released in the year 2006. After this, my friends, for 4 long years, they did not release any version at all. Why, sir? After this, Java had gained so much of popularity. They were all busy in the acquisition meetings from different companies. Finally, all of us know, in the year 2010, the Oracle acquisition took place. And when was this? I told you, it happened in the year 2010. So for 4 long years, they did not release any version at all. The moment Oracle acquired it, immediately in the next year itself, they released a new version of Java. So observe this, everyone. The next version of Java is called as Java 7, and it was released in the year 2011. The next version of Java, it is called as Java 8. Very important version. You will know why this version is important. It was released in the year 2014. The next version of Java, it was called as Java 9, and this was released in the year 2017. And from this version onwards, it is important for you to note also the month in which it was released. In which month was it released, sir? It was released in the month of September of 2017. Sir, why is the month important all of a sudden for this particular version? Because it's from this version, they decided they are going to follow a 6 months release cycle for every single new version of Java. That means starting from this version, every 6 months, there is a new version that is going to be released in the market. So observe this. The next version, it is called as Java 10. Can you tell me when are they going to, when did they release this? From September, 6 months is going to be March of 2017. Next, sorry, since it is already September, so it would obviously be 2018. Next version, Java 11. This is going to be September of 2018. Good. Next, Java 12. It is going to be March of, it would be 2019. Next, Java 13. This is going to be September of 2019. Next, Java 14. It would be March of 2020. Already in this particular month, many countries have already started being serious about the COVID pandemic. But even then, the Oracle engineers did not sit quiet. They wanted to release a version and they have released it. The next version, Java 15. Most of the countries are under lockdown. Even then, they did not sit patiently. They have released the next version. Next, Java 16. Entire world is facing the repercussions of pandemic, but they have to release the next version. Similarly, Java 17. The next version was released in September of 2021. Java 18. This version was released in March of 2022. Please let me know if anywhere I'm going wrong in the dates. It's possible that I could commit mistakes. Java 19, September of 2022. Next, Java 20, March of 2023. Java 21, this is going to be released in September of 2023. Can anybody tell me which is the current month and year? Very good. It is the September of 2023. It is in this month. The Java 21 version is also going to be released. I'm hoping by this time it has already been released. But anyways, there are a few things about these versions you should be knowing. Which was the last version under Sun Microsystems? It is Java 6. Which was the first version under Oracle Corporation? It is Java 7. Which is the latest version of Java? It is Java 21. And can you also predict the future release, the future version, which is Java 2022, Java 22? When will this be released? We can 100% predict the month and the year now, March of 2024. Now, like this, if I give you time, you will give me at least till Java 100, the month and the year when it is going to be released. Am I clear with this, everyone? Perfect. Now, these are the versions of Java you should be aware of. But out of all of these versions, which versions are important, sir? Certainly, the most important version is going to be Java 8. It was in this version, many new features were introduced in Java. The functional programming concepts were introduced in this version of Java. The functional interfaces, Lambda expressions, many new things came into existence in Java 8. And today also, 60 to 70% of the software industry is still using for the purpose of developing the software applications. They're still using Java 8. Very few companies have migrated to Java 11 or Java 17. They happen to be the stable versions of Java. That is what the industry is using it. Am I clear with this? Now, sir, I don't know how did you mug up all of these years, because it is so difficult for us to remember these years. That is why if you see, I have shown a kind of pattern in all of these versions. If you notice it here, for the first 4 versions, if you notice it here, the gap for each of these versions is 1 year. And if you notice it, for the rest of the 4 versions, the gap between these versions happens to be 2 years. Now, that was not intentional, but as a mentor, as a trainer, my job is to identify patterns so that as a student, you're going to remember these things easily. And after which, for the next 3 versions, if you notice it here, the gap happens to be 3 years. And after this, I don't even have to tell you. From here, they have followed a 6 months release cycle. And in the future also, they are going to follow the same thing. Every 6 months, they are going to release a new version. Am I clear with this, everyone? The versions of Java also. So what is the latest version of Java? It is going to be Java 21 in September of 2023. And the next version of Java, Java 22, it is going to be released in March of 2024. Is that clear? All of you? Okay, I see still some kind of conversation is going on YouTube. I see that we have to take some I don't know, in spite of continuous request also, I don't see that. Anyways, is everything clear so far, everyone? Perfect. Okay, it's already 8:50 now. I don't think so. The next topic. Now I told you, what are the 4 more important features of Java, everyone? It was platform independent, it is object oriented, it was freely available, it was also open source. Now I want to explain each of these features in detail. Of course, freely available, open source, or what is open source, closed source, I have already explained it. Freely available, don't really have to explain, but there are 2 things: platform independent and object oriented. Object oriented, though I have given a small glimpse, but I want to get into the more details here. But uh, before that, most importantly, I want to explain what is meant by platform independency in Java. How did Java achieve platform independency? That is what I want to explain. But for that to explain, it is going to be at least 1 hour long discussion, only that one feature. I don't want to start it now, give the introduction now and complete the rest of the things tomorrow, though it is already 8:50 now. Let us use the last 10 minutes if in case you have any doubts, any questions to ask. Do you have any questions for me with respect to whatever I've spoken? Of course, I've also reiterated many a times since the last 2 classes also, maintaining your notes is extremely important for these sessions. Maybe now you it seems like you're understanding everything. Trust me, why you're understanding is, it is because of the efforts that I have put in to simplify all of these concepts. But you cannot guarantee that you're going to remember all of these things the way it was explained as it is. So it is important that you're going to maintain neat notes. I know I'm speaking to such students who have completed their entire graduation or who are about to complete their entire graduation in just one notebook. I know I'm speaking to such species here, but trust me, this is for your placements, this is for your betterment. I'm giving you this advice. Please maintain a notebook. I am not telling you have to maintain, you should send a soft copy to me, I will evaluate, only then attendance will be given. No, 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 no. That is all up to you now. You know what is right and wrong for your career, right? Pawan, it's not possible to send separate notes as PDF because it is again going to take a lot of time. So at least now that you have a reason to make notes, you're going to watch my recorded session once again. So 2 benefits: you'll make notes also. Once again, you're going to listen to the same lecture and you're going to remember it for much longer time. So you're the one who's going to be benefited with this. Okay, we can apply for internships. Of course, you can apply for internships, Manya, after completing this training. Yes, Divakar, such brilliant minds they had. Sir, are you aptitude? No, Guru Devi, it wouldn't be possible for me to teach aptitude, reasoning. I mean, I am worried, I'm in dilemma whether I'll be able to complete at least the foundations of Java in these 15 days. So anyways, but I don't want to go in hurry here, just give some random information. Okay, completed. Where were you for the last 15 days? Attending technical sessions. What did you learn? Nothing. I don't want that to happen. Aman, you are the book of knowledge, sir. Oh, this is a huge compliment for me, Aman. Thank you so much. Which skills are required other than technical skills in IT field? There are some soft skills that are going to be needed. Of course, you have to be good with respect to basic mathematics. Extremely important it is. Now, the moment I say so, I know there are jitters running in your system, but see, you decide. Do you want me to sugarcoat words and convey to you, or do you want me to be brutally honest with you? If you want me to be brutally honest with you, if anybody would say that I want to be the best programmer, the best coder in this entire batch, but I lack basic mathematics skills, I am sorry, I'm not going to buy this argument of you considering yourself as the best programmer, because basic mathematics is needed any day for you to become a best programmer, a good coder, a skilled developer. Now, the moment I say so, I know the kind of mathematics skills that all of you have. I'm not expecting a double degree PhD honors in mathematics. Only then you will become a good software developer. At least basic mathematics you need to have the knowledge about. Now, what I mean by basic mathematics, it is your 10th standard mathematics syllabus. At least that much of knowledge you're supposed to have. Because see, mathematics is there everywhere in our real life also. So tomorrow, if you're solving any problem in the society through a software, you're trying to solve it, 100% you have to consider the math behind. I hope all of you have seen it. Whenever you order some food through Swiggy or Zomato, estimated time of arrival is going to be shown to you. For the algorithm that is running behind the Swiggy or Zomato application, don't you think it has to calculate the distance between you and the restaurant and the distance between the food delivery executive and the restaurant, and only then it is supposed to display to you the estimated time of arrival, ETA. It is going to reach your house in 33 minutes. Math is involved, 100% it is involved. These software engineers who are working for NASA, who are working for ISRO, recently, all of us were very proud of the accomplishment by ISRO, the Chandrayaan 3. 100%, it also had a software. It is having a software that is driving the satellite, that is driving the software, the satellite components there. Don't you think all of the math has to be considered? At what speed it has to be launched? After how many days it is going to reach the surface of moon? Slight mathematical miscalculations also. 100% it would have been a disaster. So definitely mathematics is needed. Now, if tomorrow you're working on such projects where you have to create an application where there are basic mathematics involved, and you are not able to come up with a formula maybe to find the speed of a vehicle. Tomorrow, if you're working for maybe let us say this a self-driving cars project, 100% lot of mathematics, man, you have to consider everything there. Anyways, I think that part also is clarified. So what skills are needed? Basic mathematics, aptitude, soft skills, your communication skills are extremely important. You should be able to communicate with your team members internally within your team. Absolutely important. Right. Okay, Pallavi is asking, Python was also developed in the year 1992. It supports soups. It is also platform independent, but why Java has gained all the popularity? Very simple, Pallavi. Java had the kickstart from some of the top tech giants backing Java. So if I would ask you this question, today, which is the famous browser that we are using? It could be on system, it could be within our mobile phones. It is the Google Chrome browser that we are using. Similarly, back in 1990s, there was a browser called as Netscape browser. This Netscape browser developers, they made an announcement that we are going to be using Java in our browser. Google made an announcement that we are going to be using Java. So all of these tech giants backing Java, telling we are going to be using it. This was another important factor for Java to raise against Python and gain their popularity. This was the reason behind. Okay, can the ExcelR team once again please share the attendance link these students are asking? Okay, which version of Java is better now? I think the last stable version with the long-term support happens to be Java 17. Sure, maybe in the upcoming sessions, we'll also send the Zoom meeting link at the beginning itself in YouTube live chat so that you can also join the Zoom meeting there. But here itself, we already are touching 800 participants. I think the limit itself is 1000 participants. Anyways. All right, then, everyone. Thank you so much. I hope it was another fruitful session. And I have been able to justify your 2 hours of time that you have interested me with. And I was able to add a bit of knowledge to your current knowledge levels. Thank you so much for bearing me patiently. It was wonderful teaching these things to all of you. And the next session, Amar, are you there in the meeting?
Yes, I'm there.
So we just give us a minute. We'll inform to you when the next session is going to be there. I'll just have a call with Amar sir and we'll inform to you. All of you, please stay back in the call. Just give us a minute. Okay. So the next session is going to be on Monday. We had already informed to all of your colleges as well that Saturday, Sunday, it is going to be a holiday. It is an off from these sessions. So the next session of ours is going to be coming Monday at the same time, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. I also have a surprise element for you in the next week. Okay, I'll reveal it now itself. The surprise element is going to be, there is going to be a surprise quiz that is going to be conducted live during the class itself. So please be prepared. All of these things, whatever I'm discussing in the class, those questions are going to be asked. So when is it going to be scheduled, sir? If I reveal that information, how can that be called as a surprise quiz? So it is going to be a surprise. Please be prepared. Somewhere in the middle of next week, the assessment, the quiz is going to be considered. So let's see for the top performing participants there, what can be done. So accordingly, I would continue the sessions there. Once again, thank you so much, everyone. If in case you people have any doubts with respect to how to log into LMS, please stay back. Amar sir and Chandana ma'am are here in the session. They are going to help you with respect to any other queries. And yesterday also, there were many who were trying to connect with me on LinkedIn. And I don't know if you're able to find me on LinkedIn. I'll just send the LinkedIn URL itself directly in the chat. You can click on it and you can connect with me on LinkedIn. See, just copy that message and please post it, paste it in your address bar within your browser. You will be able to see the LinkedIn profile of mine and you can send me a connection request there. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Please take care of yourself, take care of your family members, enjoy your weekend. And by enjoy, I mean revise whatever I have taught you. Do not waste your time. Try to keep learning one or the other thing today on YouTube and other platforms. There are so many free videos available for you if at all you have the hunger to learn. All right, then. Thank you so much, everyone. It was a wonderful session today also. I shall see you all on Monday at sharp 7 o'clock. And please be punctual to the class. Thank you so much, everyone. You have to copy paste that link, Mahbub. You have to copy that link, paste it in your browser, and I think you will be able to go to the profile. If not, I had also sent my name yesterday. This is the name, Syed Zabiullah. The lengthy name, but that's my name. I'm also proud about it. Anyways, thank you so much, everyone. Take care of yourself and keep learning. We shall meet on Monday. Thank you. Amar sir, over to you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, what's your queries, question regarding to the LMS? Ask me. So there is one question. How to join ChatGPT class, sir? ChatGPT class is already over on 19th of September. We're done with that program. And Aniket, please tell me about session review on how to access LMS. So Aniket, you're done with your registration? YouTube people, if you have any query or question for me, please let me know. My device is not logging into ExcelR. Means what is the error you are getting? If you are helping with the error, then I am able to help with your answer. So, sir, there's one question for you. How test will be conducted? Means be like there will be Google form or anything else, or only questions will be there.
Yeah, that also is another surprise for them, Ajay.
Okay.
It would be quite interesting, guys. You wouldn't have seen such an online quiz. I can guarantee that.
So Nayan is asking, sir, how to get a Zoom link in ExcelR LMS. So Nayan, once you're done with your sign-in procedure, so you are able to see the join button at 6:45. Fundamentals of full stack development. Today is a day 3. Below that, you just have to click on join button. Then it will directly revert to the Zoom. Okay. It is compulsory to register to the LMS, sir. So it's not like that, but you will get the material, recorded session, and assignment, all over things over LMS for lifetime. So it will help you for future as well. So you can do a registration or login, where we will see the Zoom meeting link. Shashi, how you join today's session? Same way you have to join every day. After registration, I'm not getting mail, sir. So there is some difficulty with your account. So do one thing, drop an email to edl@excelr.com. My team will check and they will get back to you. I'm sharing that email ID with you. Aniket Kale. Hello, sir. Yes, Aniket. Tell me. Where I get the LMS login, sir? Guys, after your registration, you are receiving 2 emails. You will get all these things over there only. And if you are again struggling with the same thing, just go through the day 1 recording. By 45 from 50 minutes, I started the giving LMS kit. So just go through that. Okay. Log into ExcelR, start your journey today. Sorry, we couldn't find a user with provided credentials. Then definitely you are giving your wrong credentials. Your email ID or else your password is wrong. That's why it's giving this error. Shashi, how you joined today's session? Can you please help me with that? Arya, what's your question? I just received a question mark from your side without any question. How should I answer? Tell me. So Dipti from YouTube, just drop an email to our team, EDL team. Sir, I have not got the certificate of ChatGPT. So Arya, if you are there in the last session, I already informed that if your attendance is more than 60%, you will receive a certificate in 7 to 8 working day. And on 19th, we are done with the program and it's 3rd or 4th day. We are on it, you will receive it, okay? Yeah, Nayan is asking me, sir, what values feedback should be given daily? So attendance and feedback link is a common only, and 60% attendance is mandated to get the certificate. So that's the value of the feedback link. I hope it's clear. Nayan, clear? Okay, Leo, do one thing, drop an email. We'll check that. Sir, I got the email on second day. On the day only I'm joining the classes. First day didn't get the email. Okay, no problem. Sir, please tell me how to register for LMS. Aniket, you're not done with the registration. Chandana, can you please share the registration link in the chat box of Zoom and YouTube as well?
Yeah, Amar, 1 minute.
Yes, please. Guys, anything else? We are already late by 10 minutes. No, don't share your email ID and password. Just drop an email. We'll check that, Leo. Okay. Sir, I will submit my feedback, but is not count. Yes, guys, your attendance and feedback link, whatever you are feeding on every day, whatever you're marking on every day, that's your attendance count for that day. Okay, thank you, Chandana. I hope there is no more questions. So thank you so much, all of you. Keep practicing on Saturday, Sunday as well. Happy weekend. And we'll meet you on Monday with same energy. Okay. So thank you once again. Bye-bye. Good night. Chandana, you can wind up the session.
Yeah, thank you, Amar.
Yes.